All right, welcome back. We're episode 4.
Episode 4.
Minutes with the Marks group. And it's not just you and I again. We're going back to back. Episodes with a third special guest. And today we have another one of your teammates with the Marks group, and this is Carrie Smith. So welcome and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
So, we talked our last episode. We talked to Julie, which is one of the team members, and this is one of your other agents. So, Carrie, why don't you, kind of like Nathan has done in the past and what Julie did, why don't you kind of share a little bit about your background and kind of how you got started in real estate?
Okay. Well, long ago, I was actually in marketing. So I started out of college in marketing for many years. And I always had a passion for teaching. So I went into teaching. I taught for 10 years. And so then I was kind of wanting something to do that kind of, went with teaching and marketing, put that together. And so I just decided that I wanted to become a real estate agent. I saw Julie's success. Julie and I had taught together for many years. And so I was seeing what she was doing, and it just seemed like, that seemed interesting. And so I actually decided to start taking my classes online before I talked to Nathan. And then when Julie found out that that's what I was doing, she said, "You're going to be on my team." And I said, "Okay." But we had all known each other for a long time, right. And so when it came down to me getting ready to quit teaching and all that, we were at a crawfish boil at my house, and Nathan said, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Let's go to lunch." And I said, "Okay." And so we went to lunch like a couple days later, and it was spring break. I think there's like a common theme with our team. I don't know what that says about us, but we went to lunch a few days later. He told me everything, talked about how the team works, and he said, "Are you interested?" I said, "If I say no, Julie will kill me." So that's how I ended up here.
We forced her.
Something that seems like maybe some liquid courage down at the beach or something.
There's a lot. It's always at spring break time.
Yeah. We make our best decisions during spring break, apparently.
Yeah, so that's right.
So if you're ever around Nathan, I guess it's spring break. Hey, maybe a career change, or maybe you're going to start a new venture, huh? Mm-hmm. So you talked about, teaching in real estate and want to do something. It's kind of dawning on me, as realtors, you all do kind of teach clients the process while you're going through. That's one of the things that I think a lot of your all's clients will attest to, is that when we're going through the buying or the selling or maybe investment aspect of it, one of the things I've noticed is you've always kept us updated, like, hey, here's the next step, here's why we're doing what we're doing, or hey, maybe it's the lending phase and you're going to get a call from the lender, here's going to be some questions they're going to ask you, make sure you have this. Right. So it's not like you're just sending your client, hey, go see this lender, they'll take care of it. You're actually going step by step, even in their processes. So when you mentioned, you want to do something that took teaching and marketing together. And so that's one thing that I think people will notice about your team and your group, is that you are teaching them the process. Besides just say, hey, we're going to buy this house for you, or we're going to be able to sell this house for you, you actually go step by step. So that kind of sticks out to me when you say it.
If you think about it, it really is an education process. And so as teachers, that was our job, to educate. Not only the kids, but parents along the way. And so I feel like it does lend itself very well, because, whether you're a first-time home buyer or somebody who hasn't done it in 20 years, you kind of don't know what's going to happen. And so, part of our thing is we're very upfront at the very beginning before anything really starts. We tell them, this is the process, and these are the things that are going to happen, and these are the things that you're going to need to do, and kind of, and then we guide them along the way, wherever they have questions. It's, like you said, it's not like we're like, okay, here's your contract, we're just going to go. We're there the whole step of the way, which lends itself again to our building of the relationships and how we differentiate ourselves.
Yeah. And that's one thing we've talked about in the past is almost all of your all's business is client referral and repeat clients. So again, it goes back to that aspect of kind of, I guess, a term we've kind of coined to get a client service. Right. It's just another aspect of that. So being on the team with Nathan and Julie, and then obviously Tammy, who's another teacher, there's a theme there, I guess.
Right.
What, being in this particular group, what would you say lends kind of, not what makes you better than everybody else? Because we know y'all are really good, but when somebody decides to use you as their realtor, what's kind of like your hallmark, or what can they say, yeah, with Carrie, this is what we get, or this is what she's providing or doing for us? What would you say is kind of maybe your part of the teamwork
Right.
that kind of separates yourself from what the other parts of the team.
I mean, I think it still goes all the way back to to education and relationships, because I feel like when we're done with the process, I think my clients will tell other people, hey, she was there every step of the way. We always knew there were no surprises. I mean, there were probably some surprises that we out of our control, but we knew what was going to happen. And then most of my clients that were referrals are now my friends, so they know that 6 months, 6 years, whatever down the road, if they need something, they can still call me, and they know that to this day. And so I think that the education and then us building a relationship, I feel like they know that they can count on me for whatever.
Right. Do you find that a lot of your clients, you say you're friends, but will text you or call you and say, hey, who are you using for this remodel? Or, hey, I do need to look at some refinancing. Do you get a lot of those calls?
I do.
Because I'm constantly,
Yeah.
it seems like I blow up Nathan's phone quite often, because I'll have somebody hit me up and like, hey, I know you typically know some people, so I'll hit Nathan, hey, who are you using for this? Do you find that
I do.
a lot of your clients are still doing that?
Hey, even as simple as, hey, my yard guy quit. Do you have somebody that you use that you can count on?
Right.
Or, we are repainting. Who do you use? Who do you suggest? And luckily we have, amongst our team, we have a good database of people that we do use. And so I'm able to say, yeah, let me shoot you a text message. Here's contacts or whatever. And they know that, like I said, as simple as, yard guy to, construction crews, whatever they need. But yeah,
Yeah, and I'll kind of ask you the same question that I asked when we had previously met with Julie. What's kind of the thing that you would say, looking at Carrie, that she brings to the team, or what's kind of an aspect that you see in her as an agent and how she's, served her clients or worked together as a team?
Well, like you said, there's a theme on my team, right? So I have a lot of teachers. So this Carrie, Julie, and Tammy, all former teachers. So there's a reason for that, because not just teachers, right? Good teachers, teachers that left an impression on the students or on the community. Because everywhere you go, if I go somewhere and I say, hey, I work with Carrie. Oh, she used to teach at Middlesex, this and that. Everyone will know who she is. Everyone knows who Julie is. Everyone knows who Tammy is. And so it's having that kind of influence on the community, or having those people on my team that are teachers. I like that, because they know a lot of people. A lot of people know them. Sure. They've impacted not just the kids' lives, but also the parents' lives, maybe making it a little easier for them. Like I said, being a good teacher. So going back, even when we were talking with Julie, it is that being able to take a situation and listen to it and solve the problem. Like we said, you deal with 30 students in a classroom. Each one of those kids has their own situation. Yep. Each one has a different parent who has a different situation. Absolutely. And so just being able to sit down with real estate, because going back to what we were just talking about earlier, whether it's your first time to buy a house or your 15th time to buy a house, I'm going to treat you like it's your first time. It's not every day that you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right. And so I want to make sure that you know what we're doing, what we're going. I think with that teacher background, to be able to sit down and go through that. Very organized, by the way. That's the other thing about teachers. I'm not organized at all. So they're very organized. They have these checklists and box and Excel spreadsheets and all this kind of stuff, which now they're bringing into my life. And it's great, except that I get yelled at because I'm not using the spreadsheet. So you didn't fill out the spreadsheet, but very organized. They keep me organized, but that's organizational skills, communication skills. I mean, this is just that's what the girls on my team bring and actually help me with. To help me out on that stuff. Yeah.
And going back again to the education part, is there kind of a common question you've been getting lately with your clients, maybe that are prospective buyers or looking to list? Has there kind of been something, maybe with the financing and or the inventory, is there like a common thing you're really noticing that you are having to kind of stop and say, hey, we can make this work if you want to buy this house, but here's some things we have to do. Or, hey, when we list, here's some things that we're going to have to consider. Is there kind of a common theme you're really seeing right now?
I think right now, the biggest thing that I've had to explain over and over and over again, part of my job, is people are just freaked out about the interest rates going up. Well, what they don't understand is, we were spoiled for 2 years with these super low interest rates. Right. And so 6% is still historically low.
Right.
So, the good thing about our team too is we have relationships with lenders and things like that. So when a buyer is kind of like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't, I can reach out to one of my lenders and say, hey, you got a chart, you got some information that I can share with them. Because it can come from me, but I'm not a lender.
You're not the lender, right?
But I can tell you that hey, these are still low rates, but here, let me show you. And so I reach out to my lenders. Hey, can you give me this? And it kind of puts the buyers, at ease, like, oh yeah, because back in the day, our parents were buying houses at 12.5%, at 6% they were, and refinancing at 10 and thinking, woo,
When I bought my first house, we were 6.5%, and my parents were going, how did you
How'd
get
you
it
get
that
it?
low? And I'm like,
you're stealing. What's
that's
going
actually
on?
great.
Right.
But, going back, some of these guys that are like, I'll just hold off. The interest rates are going. Like, so you're going to renew the lease? I'm like, yeah. And I go, well, you're paying 100% interest rate right now with renting. I was like, you can pay 6.5% and build equity. Refinance if they go down. But as a renter, you're paying 100% interest rate.
Absolutely.
And so you have to educate these guys and make them kind of see the grass is actually greener on the other side of owning real estate versus renting real estate.
I mean, if you watch the news, it's all, doom and gloom. But in all actuality, it really isn't. So it's kind of our job to put that in perspective of a buyer or even a seller, because even now people are kind of like, ooh, I don't know if I want to sell right now. Well, it's still a good time. Inventory is still low. We know when we need to get that picked up. So it's still a good time for both of those, especially in our market. And the thing about it, too, is every market's different, and so we're watching national media, and
they're giving you an overall picture.
People are like, "Oh my gosh, this is terrible, 6%, whatever." The feds are doing this. Well, you got to kind of bring it down to our, local market and look. And so that's I've been getting a lot of that lately, and so it's helpful to kind of bring it down to their level and say, "Hey, look, this is what's really going on in our market."
Right. Yeah, well, that's good. Like you said, in the news obviously is going to highlight, the big picture and kind of the blanket. But like you said, to be able to get those questions, especially right now for people that want to either refi or, well, not probably refinance right now, but to buy or sell or one that refi question if the interest rates do drop. So again, it goes back to that educational piece. Well, So, well, we appreciate your time today, and even kind of add to that, we've talked about, I think here in the near future, you'll probably bring a lender in and kind of hit on that topic and some other things. So that's the whole purpose of the Minutes with the Marks group. So, like we said, we appreciate y'all checking in to the Marks group page. You can always go to themarksgroup.net to get to their website. Carrie, what is your personal, I know they can find it, but what is your personal email if anybody wants to reach out to you and ask some questions or look into real estate?
My personal email is carrie@themarksgroup.net.
Okay. And at the bottom of the page, too, there's the links where you can follow them on Facebook and Instagram. And like we always say, please like it, share it, follow, subscribe. So when a new episode drops, you'll get the little dinger on your phone. And especially if there is somebody that's in the market or always hears you talk about how awesome the Marks Group is, well, just have them watch the videos, and we'll be providing some informational topics coming in the near future. So thanks again for another episode of Minutes with the Marks Group.
Thank you. Click, like, subscribe.